Hello, hello. Welcome back to It Depends, I Guess podcast. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Caroline.
And
DJ.
yes, thank you so much for coming back. This is another new episode. And today, should we go into what? Should I give a hint of what we're discussing, or we go into the streets first?
We can give a hint, actually.
Okay,
It's
all
a
right.
very interesting topic, actually.
It is. Carol's bread and butter.
Oh my gosh, I love this. I love this so
Yes,
much.
but I think how it came up is, I guess sometimes do you think, are we living in reality or like in an inception of sorts,
Yeah.
especially on social media?
Yes.
Like, do you think you actually curate things or we are being fed a narrative?
Yes.
Right? And I think today maybe we'll start with just how vastly different what men are fed versus women are being fed on
Yes.
social media.
Yeah.
And it's in the geographies we're in. So I don't know what's happening on like China social media but I think for us, a lot of what's happening in the US trickles into and kind of
Yes.
has influence.
A little bit
our
in
area.
Switzerland. I also feel like whatever is in the UK,
Yes.
we get that a lot.
We get a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And then also we are a lot on like African social media. So like Kenya social media.
Yeah.
South
South Africa
Africa social media,
Yeah.
Nigeria social media. So yeah, but like there's a theme that we have seen, so that's something we want to dive into. But let's start with what has fascinated you on these internet streets?
On this internet, beautiful streets, I have been following all the drama that has to do with Kate Middleton. And where is Kate Middleton?
I personally, I'm hoping she's getting a BBL.
Oh my gosh.
Personally, that's what I want to see.
I feel like within the last 1 month or so, there's been a lot of speculation where she is. I don't know if everybody has been following this, but there was a doctored photo, so a Photoshop
Yeah.
fuck up somewhere.
To be fair, that is the only time, because I think I saw the photo posted
Yes.
on Mothers, because UK Island Mother's Day was recent.
Yeah.
So I saw the photo and I was like, oh, cool, all right. And then I went back on social media and I think maybe on X, and I'm like, why is she trending?
Yeah.
Then now people have like, those diagrams, like a science diagram of this is the arm, this is the leg. Everything was sucked. I was like, man.
The one that actually made me think, wow, people can do FBI stuff low key without even knowing that they have the skill. Somebody had zoomed into a corner of a tile and actually showed how the tile was skewed in a way to say that was doctored. And I was
Oh
like,
my God.
where do people have time for this? But I think that's the photo that actually had most people now like keen to know where she is.
Yeah.
And recently there was a video that was, I think it's on TMZ or something. They're the only ones with that video where she's at the farmer's market.
Yeah.
That's the internet streets.
Yeah, I mean, that thing is insane. To be fair, I do hope she's fine. First of all, I hope she's okay. Like, because I know they had said she
had a surgery,
abdominal surgery.
Yeah.
So I hope health-wise, she's okay.
Yes.
But yeah, it's shocking because imagine Buckingham Palace and Kensington and all this, like have a team that's just responsible for like, so I don't think they post for themselves.
Yeah.
So they have a team that posts for them and all these things. And the kind of mistakes that are happening, or even like the post she did to say, I was just playing around with editing.
Yes.
A team that's doing all this stuff. It's just all this has been just insanely odd.
I hope she's okay. I hope.
I hope, health-wise she's okay.
Yeah, and you?
Oh, okay, not on the internet streets, but just in life. So one of my friends, shout out, I think she knows who she is, was visiting last weekend.
Yes.
And then from outside of Zurich. And we had a 15-minute conversation about tissue paper and like 3-ply and 5-ply and 2-ply and all these things. And she's saying, it's so hard to find 5-ply where she lives. And I was like, oh no, and she's from Dublin. I'm like, no, when I was in Dublin, I used to go to this store and this store. So then she texts me literally just before we started shooting.
Yeah.
And she's like, I found the 5-ply with like a picture. I was like, oh my God, that's so dope. And then I was like, wait, is this what adulting has turned us into? We are excited about 5-ply.
Yes.
I mean,
a lot has changed.
The little joys in life.
Yeah.
Kick us off on this whole Oh, actually, also, we are shooting during the day. I hope you can see it looks brightish, which means it's like actually the sky is clear outside. So summer, we think summer is coming, but I think it's fixed up. It's fixed spring. I think it's a
Fake
fixed spring.
spring. We are also very bright today.
Yeah.
I have pink on. You have red.
Yeah.
We're feeling very vibrant.
We're feeling very vibrant, but
Yes.
one to us tomorrow will be like 4 degrees. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll
Back
take
to
it as
black.
it comes. I'm telling you. All right. Okay. So, I guess just to set the context, we'll kind of maybe I start with you. What platforms are you actively on? And for example, from your so what platforms are you on? Social media wise.
On social media, I can say, let me start with the ones that I'm actively that I'm active on. I'm active on Instagram. I'm active on TikTok, but I'm a consumer of
Active
content.
consumer.
Yes, but I don't create content on TikTok. I pop in and out of X once in a while. I tried Threads on Instagram.
Oh, never tried
Yes.
it. Yeah.
But I just follow because it's linked to your Instagram. So I follow some threads. I go just read up a few things there.
Is it actually active?
Yes.
Oh, I should check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think in the EU, it took a while for it to get
to
approved.
catch up, yeah.
To get approved
Oh.
actually by EU regulations, but
Yeah.
they finally did. So you
Okay.
can download
Okay.
and connect and have an account.
Okay.
I also pop in and out of Reddit. I pop in and out of Facebook once in a while. But my most active ones are Instagram and TikTok. I don't know, is LinkedIn social?
At this point, folks, it is. At this point,
I pop in and out
it
of
might
LinkedIn.
as well.
Yes.
You know what annoys me about LinkedIn?
Yeah.
I can go in and see, I have 10 notifications.
Yeah.
And then I go in
Yes.
and it's like 10 people's birthdays. Why are you telling me about people's birthdays on LinkedIn?
Wait, they have birthdays?
They have a thing. So,
yes,
there's
they
a tab
do.
for
Yes.
new connections
Yeah.
and then catch up.
Yeah.
On catch up, it's like, I'm like, I don't really need to know people's birthdays on
Yes.
LinkedIn. It's very odd.
Yes.
But I think now it's a social media platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do see like on LinkedIn, folks do post like big blog post almost like about what they're working on.
Yeah.
And I do like to go and see and catch up with like old workmates,
Yeah.
what they're doing. There are people who are doing some fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
And
LinkedIn
I think
as well.
at
yeah.
this point, I probably also think of YouTube as a social media
Oh yes,
platform
it is.
of sorts. Yeah.
Why would you say it is?
Because a lot of the engagement that happens in the commentary section,
Okay.
and then also that they also have shorts, which
Yes.
is trying to compete with
Reels
TikTok.
and TikTok.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and also there you kind of algorithms again chase your ass there and like
Yeah.
are always trying to feed you certain things.
Yes.
So I also think of it as
Okay.
and also a lot of content is cross-platform.
Okay.
So it's something from TikTok that's posted on
Yes.
YouTube or on compilations from TikTok. So you find it's created on a lot of social platforms and then posted on
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
I
hear
think of it.
YouTube actually for content creators, they do really pay well. So,
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah. So, Otana, DJ, you want to go through what platforms? What's your active?
All
I'm
of
on
them.
all of them.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah. Oh, and you're
I try-
super active on Facebook. Too.
Yeah, like I try and because that's where I think if you're someone who's especially in the DJ community, if you're not showing what you do,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
so you have to be everywhere. You have to follow the crowd wherever they go. I'm on
Yes.
TikTok. I'm on Instagram, Facebook,
Are you on Snapchat?
Google Plus, Snapchat. Yes, I'm there.
Oh,
Google Plus
wait,
is
Google
there.
Plus?
Yeah.
It's still there?
Yeah, I don't know if it's still
used
there.
to be there.
I know I've got an account.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So shots fired.
I'm on MySpace.
No. Now you're pulling our leg. MySpace was way back.
Was it?
Yes, please.
I'm very active on that one.
Yeah.
No, you try and go where the people are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chase the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you get your most engagement?
On Instagram.
On Instagram.
Right
okay.
now on Instagram. TikTok is coming up. That don't have that many numbers. So if there's anyone who wants to, feel free to drop a message and just follow me on TikTok.
Talk. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and now the good thing about it is that you don't even have to post DJ content if your page
It's just
says
whatever.
you can post anything.
Yeah.
My biggest video has got me just clowning around with some mud in Gambia.
Gambia.
With the lions.
Yeah.
No, not the
No, I
lions
didn't
one.
post the lion one. That was too close of an incident. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, with the mud on my face. That's the biggest one I
yes.
have now.
Where you're David Attenborough.
Yeah.
Surviving in the Gambia.
In the Gambia.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think of the three of you, I'm the least active on social media.
Okay.
I think I'm mostly on Instagram for consumption. Also, maybe I'm reposting episodes from this.
Yes.
By Instagram, Reddit.
Yes.
I passively act, like I consume a lot on Reddit. X. I think so. YouTube.
Yes.
And also one I forgot that I think is a social media platform is WhatsApp.
Oh, what's up? Oh.
Yeah. If you're
That's true,
Africans,
actually,
that is that is king.
Is that social media?
So this is why I think it's social
Yeah.
media, because again, a lot of content from TikTok is shared on
Yes.
WhatsApp.
Yes.
And then, so I think of it as a social media platform. And also, if you think about a lot of like conspiracy theories or a lot of like,
Yeah.
like for example, in Kenya during elections
Yeah.
or election period and all,
Yeah.
like the conspiracies that someone is sacrificing people for
Yes.
whatever it is, all those things are spread on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
All of them. I've never come across conspiracy theory content in the wild. It's always through WhatsApp.
Now that we are talking about this, like my thoughts just came about like, yes, they're traditionally made as messaging apps.
Yeah.
But now they're being used differently because
Yeah.
now you can even do like broadcasts, yeah?
Yes.
And Telegram takes the cap of
Yeah,
yes,
that's true.
because you join channels on Telegram, and I don't know, for some reason people love Telegram more than
Because of
yes,
allegedly, because it's more secure.
more secure.
Yeah.
And also you can join random channels, I guess, without even
Yeah.
having to share your number.
And the good thing
Yes.
is, if you're in groups,
Yes.
if I join a WhatsApp group, if you
Yes.
add me, say a year later,
Yes.
I only know from the moment.
Yes.
Versus Telegram, you can see the entire history
Yes.
of whenever that group
Yeah.
started. So I think
Yeah.
I like it for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now that you mentioned WhatsApp, even before we go into just kind of what we are fed, I think female WhatsApp groups and male WhatsApp groups are like two different universes.
Yes.
DJ, tell us.
No, I think they are different.
I think they're very different.
They're very different.
Yes. How different?
I'll be honest with you. In a lot of them, I'm in one group that's really big. I think we've got, I don't know how many people there are, but there's every time I look, it looks like there's a new number that's popped up and it's someone I don't know.
Yes.
It's honestly a lot of porn.
Oh,
you-
what
Yeah.
do you
that-
mean?
Like it's
Are
just
these people you know?
no, it's not. It's porn of celebrity porn, funny porn. With porn when things go wrong.
Yes, but
A lot of misogyny.
Yeah.
Yes,
I have a
there's
feeling.
women in these groups as well. A lot of misogyny, but it's a lot of it is done with. A lot of people don't comment whenever the misogyny comes through.
Yeah.
because they're not in the group for that.
Yes.
the thing they're in the group for, they'll comment about. If someone comments about football and you're into football,
Yes.
that's what they'll comment about.
Okay.
If they are,
okay,
so if
okay.
they're porn things, they'll say more of that.
Okay.
So people always, but
How big is this group? Like, just to get context
very
of.
big?
Yeah.
I don't know where my phone's, but it's very big.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's people in a lot of African countries, most of Europe.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of European expats, Zimbabweans,
Okay.
Zambians, Kenyans,
Yeah.
Africans mostly.
And most of this is all men.
All men. All
Yeah.
men.
All men.
Yeah.
So I cannot join if I wanted to. Like,
I'd say
they'll
there are
be
women in
curated.
the background. There's some
They're
because there's so
lacking.
many people
Okay.
Yeah.
who are
okay.
in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember there's a time, this was in Kenya, I guess. And it's a male WhatsApp group,
Yes.
which I think a pastor was in. And either there was a video of him, like a porn video of him. I'm remembering this story well. But then somebody now forwarded the video outside of the group to someone. Then now this time making the rounds, and then that's how he was caught cheating. Because but a lot of, and it made me wonder. Like I was just like, wait, first of all, what? And then I think one of my male friends was like, no, male WhatsApp groups are wild. And I thought to
Interesting.
myself, and recently I was like, it's so different from the groups we are on. Like
Yes.
female WhatsApp
Yeah.
groups
Yes.
are so
And in men's, a lot of mutilation. Like
like
heads being cut off,
girly
like
stuff.
gore, like bad accidents. Really bad, where you see everything is recorded on camera. Mexican cartel killings, all that stuff
is in there.
is in the group. It's some of it is scary, but good thing about it, they always give you a warning at the bottom. You know the red siren thing.
Yeah.
Say play at
That
your own
this
risk.
is yeah.
But it's shared.
Explicit
Like,
content.
It's hardcore.
Yeah, I think male WhatsApp groups are just wild. Because I think the female WhatsApp groups I'm on, like if it's friends, it's mostly super wholesome content. Or like funny stuff. I don't think I've ever seen a porn video from like cross my path from a female WhatsApp
that's
group.
true.
Never.
Yeah, but if it's funny porn, like it's not just
Never.
people having sex.
No.
It's
Never.
always something.
The WhatsApp groups I'm on and we share a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never.
I have never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
It would be like maybe just an Instagram reel or something post shared there, and then we pick on that topic and
Yeah.
discuss that topic or make fun of that topic and have different ideas or different points of view about that. But it would never be anything porn,
Like vulgar.
vulgar,
No.
or like even like what you've said, like heads cut off and
Yeah.
that. No.
That's what it's extreme stuff in this group here. And there's a lot of like business ideas and stuff that are posted as well.
Okay.
All amongst
So
this.
invest in
This is
all
hilarious.
amongst this here. Investment ideas. So someone will be saying, listen, I've got some Bitcoin I want to offload. Anybody interested?
Somebody else is like,
Yeah,
hey,
someone-
porn video.
I've got a thingy, what's it called? Some land I'm trying to sell.
Yeah.
Is anyone interested? Just
And then
hit
under
me
that,
up.
it was
Under
some
that,
soft porn.
Some soft porn,
Some hardcore porn.
decapitated,
Oh my
stuff
God.
like that. You know, it's just the random stuff. you know.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, do you see a similarity when you go now on social media? Like stuff that's being fed. So because I remember like sometimes when I look through kind of what's suggested to you or what's suggested to me, I find a lot of guys, there's a lot of, so for example, all these things about, is it like red pill theory and the Andrew Tate and his theories, I don't know what you call those. And there's a lot of this that's fed to men around how, you know, like, don't be a simp and like women are just out to get you and like all this kind of
Actually, yeah,
things.
it's true. I think there is, especially there was a point, I don't know if it was on Instagram or because I get lost between the apps. I
Yeah.
love the shorts. I love to watch Facebook shorts.
Yeah.
I like to watch TikTok shorts and YouTube ones. Some of them, the ones on TikTok, very anti. No, I shouldn't say anti women. They
Very alpha male culture.
yes, alpha male culture.
Yeah.
That don't be treated this way by someone who's by your partner because she's trying to do this. This is what a controlling person looks like. This is what they always make it seem like that the females are the ones we should have problems with.
Yeah.
You know, I think I don't know. It does seem like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you talk about red pill theory, like what kind of content does that?
I don't know. What is red pill theory? Because I think I've had it a few times. I've never bothered to.
Red pill theory.
There's a whole bunch of then the fresh and fit guys. What is their thing that they're pushing for?
Those guys, I don't watch a lot of their stuff. I only watch like bits.
Google red pill theory when you're talking.
I only watch bits of their stuff. But yeah, like you know, a lot of the women that go there, they know that it's an opportunity to become famous as well. You know, no matter how bad they look on the, if I act crazy enough, I might make a short. So I'll try and say the most outrageous thing and get kicked off.
Okay.
But people will remember that tag at the bottom.
Okay.
go to my OnlyFans, and then their OnlyFans numbers spike.
Okay.
It's just
So they're doing it for bait.
yes, 100%,
Okay.
100%. They know that they look like fools, and some of them are smarter than that. They know that they're coming out there with the intention of getting their numbers up on certain platforms, and it's gonna work. If your social media is set up right, that it bounces you from social media app to social media app, then you're winning all the way. It doesn't matter if you kicked me off the show. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So red pill is something about a men's rights movement.
Okay.
So they say a woman is a lock and a man is a key.
Okay.
If a key opens a lot of locks, it is a master key. I should have not searched on my regular because then yeah, so it's something about, I guess,
Okay. Like who has the power over.
So then also it's been implicated in radicalizing men into like a misogynist belief and the glorification of violence against women.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
See, that's what it is.
Yeah, someone correct me if I'm looking at the wrong Wikipedia pages.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I think on the women's side, I notice a lot of stuff that sometimes comes across, especially maybe it's because I'm also on X sometimes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of men ain't shit stuff
Yes.
that trickles our direction.
Yeah.
And it's if I was on social media a lot, in real life, I would be very skeptical of dudes.
Yeah.
Right? Because what's coming at me is just shitty stories about, like, for example, Risa Tisa, for example, stories that, about very extreme situations, about really nasty people.
Yeah.
And that's what always pops away. And maybe it's because that's what sells. A happy love story, no one cares. Actually, it's boring.
That's true. You don't see the content that's about happy love, happy life, it is actually... people spend more time criticizing it, being critical of it, and they are critical. So you find like even the comments, people are very negative about the positive content that's created. Yeah. But for the very negative, maybe content created, you find like people latch on quickly and comment, okay, they'll be like, it happened to me. Like they also want to relate, I guess. And lots of folks have realized that's what's getting the numbers.
That's what. And it's so weird. Do you think this is just by chance?
There's something
or we are just
going
being
on
fed
here.
Something.
We're being fed something against each other.
Yeah.
As women and men, I think we are all fighting a process that's already set for us.
Yeah.
And then there's other powers who are saying while they're busy fighting each other, we will be doing our thing. No one will worry about it. It's a bigger system at work here.
Yeah.
Why is it that these platforms always know? They now know that, okay, Tando likes meat, cars, and we'll feed him some misogyny there. The misogyny, I don't go looking for it.
It comes bundled.
Yeah.
The algorithm has bundled
that. Bundled stuff,
even in the WhatsApp groups.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's also there. So that's all stuff taken from social media, then posted in the WhatsApp groups to feed into, I don't know, to change our way of thinking that we are against each other as women and men. Those who identify as such. Let me not offend anyone.
Yeah.
As women and men, we are being set against each other, while a bigger power is out there moving and shifting things, taking our concentration off what exactly is happening in society.
Yeah. And I also wonder, is there, because I always think a lot of things that happen in my life, someone's making money. Is this
100%.
Is it consumerism? Is there a whole industry that makes a shit ton of money from a lot of this combative content? Because I'm trying to think, sure, from like just content perspective.
Yes.
You think about like the Andrew Tates or Fresh and Fit. Those people have gazillions of followers.
Yes.
So they are making so much money.
Yeah.
Do they believe in these things they say? Who knows? But this is the content that sells. And even on the women's side, I think I forget her name. But I know someone, and she's popped across on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I went to her page, and every single clip, and I was like, maybe it's not, let me not look at a clip and think this is, because clips can be taken out of context. And you go listen to like episodes, And I tried to listen to one or two, and it's like complete bashing of men. But she has a gazillion
Do you
of
mean
followers.
Sheila Seven, the one who does Sprinkle, or who is that?
No, this one is another one. And I'll find it for you because I bookmarked it.
Yeah.
Because I know it came across my feed once, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's odd.
Yeah.
Then I bookmarked it when it came around like the third time, and I was like, okay, no, let me go dig into what this
Yeah.
is. And I'm just like, yes, I know from content people are making money,
Mm-hmm.
but is there a bigger play from a consumerism point of view, or like what? Or is it that it keeps us online and keeps us engaged?
It does
Yeah,
keep us
that's-
engaged because
keeps
at the
us
end of the
engaged,
day,
yeah.
you want people to like, maybe do a follow,
Comments.
and also comment, And especially when people are commenting more, the more controversial something is, the more you get comments, the more you get people worked up to actually comment, and the more you keep people engaged. So some of this stuff is like people have capitalized on, and they've known how to actually play that game of making sure people remain within that platform. So you keep spewing as much as you
And
can.
while you're commenting,
Yes.
time is going. Someone is taking something that belongs
Yes,
to you.
yes.
Yeah.
And there's something bigger at play
And
here.
I need to understand what that, because
Yeah, I
it
wish-
really, and because then I was on Reddit,
Yeah.
where I'm like, oh, Reddit is more wholesome and
Yeah.
much more
Yeah.
wholesome depending on where you're at. But then at the same time, if you go look at, for example, the Am I the Asshole subreddit,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
That probably has a massive following. But again, it's because of asshole situations,
Yeah.
extreme things.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the same amount of following in places where people are talking about, this is how I met my partner, or just
Yes.
like wholesome things, and I think I've counted at least 15 podcasts so far, who the podcast is all about going into the Am I the Asshole subreddit,
Yes.
picking stories and discussing them.
Yes.
Which means at least 15 episodes or 15 podcasts, and they have massive
Yes,
following,
yes.
and all they do is discuss.
The bottom line, as I see it, is
Yeah.
our human nature will always be pulled by a lot of negativity, like things that make us. No,
Is it nature?
No, it is human nature. Is it nature or nature?
Nature, but I'm saying, is it
Yes.
is it an innate thing in us?
It is, because we get
know.
wowed by things that we cannot understand, things that seem way out of the norm. That's why those things hold us,
Yes.
captive.
And we are in a never can be bored
Yes.
way of living. I can never be bored.
This is why negative
So-
news sell more.
Yes.
Was this the same always? Because I'm wondering, and maybe I blame social media for things I should not be blaming.
Yes.
Because I feel like, I'm part of the people who are like, oh man, social media, there's the great things, people are making money. There's the element of you get to see stories from people who
Yeah.
you never would have crossed paths.
Yes.
And it's unfiltered, because before we only could depend on mainstream TV. So if they don't find interest, we won't see it.
Yeah.
So I guess there's that part. But then I'm like, maybe social media is once ruining us and things like this. But is it that social media is just a reflection of who we've always been?
Yes.
It's just come online.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's I do believe that's the case. Like, we've always been that kind of society where things that are way out there, abnormal, that don't make sense, get us more captivated, get us
Yes,
more.
and it feeds into that I don't want to be bored narrative.
Yes, yes.
Anything that will entertain me, the more extreme it is.
Yes.
And your tolerance increases.
Yeah.
Have you? It's the same narrative we always talk about Africa. Like, the Africa that's represented to the world is always of hunger,
Yeah.
famine. The narrative has always been there from
Yeah.
the day immemorial when people started journalism.
Yeah.
They realized that
And that
it doesn't.
narrative
Yeah.
feeds them.
Yes.
So it's a huge industry. And I
Yes.
think maybe we're discussing this with you.
Yeah.
No, actually, some friends were visiting, and they're talking about how there's a charity that no longer allows, how they used to put the face of an African child
Yes.
with a fly
Uh-huh.
on the face,
Yeah.
on the cover, and everyone is like, oh yeah, let's give.
Yes.
But the moment they were not allowed to use that imagery anymore,
Yeah.
that charity is almost shutting down. They can't get
Aha,
funds.
yeah,
People
yeah.
are not giving as much anymore.
Yes.
Right? So clearly, that narrative of what Africa looks like
Yeah.
served an industry.
Yeah.
And whether we like it or not, a lot of these non-profits and development agencies make a lot of money from that.
Yeah.
And for those people who've not known, even when you give for campaigns, I remember there's a year, I don't know which year it was, there was drought, and there was a lot of fundraising
Yeah.
through, maybe it was Red Cross, I can't remember.
Yes.
And I did some digging and talked to someone, and to find out that 80% of what's given goes into logistics.
Oh,
Not
definitely.
even, yeah.
Yes.
I was like, wait, what? And these agencies pay their employees quite highly.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe I was dumb because I never thought, how do they get the money to pay? It's the money you give that
Yeah.
goes to
To
administration.
Yes, to operations.
So
and
yes,
everything.
I've gone around the block. But even then, that narrative was making this whole
Yes.
development agency non-profit world was making a lot of money from that
Yes.
narrative.
Yeah.
But now my wonder is for what we experience as seeing on social media with all the negativity or even just pitting people against each other. Who is making this money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
That money is being made somewhere. But who is making it and how?
That top 1%.
Who's
Or is
making
it 3%?
And how are they making money off men and women?
That's how are
What's
they?
the difference?
Because to me it's not a coincidence that we are fed
Yes.
just very extreme things. I'm never fed wholesome things about men.
Yeah.
And you know me, most of my on Instagram, if you look at everything, I'm either following dogs, cats, baby stories, and now food. Costanzo sends me food all the time.
Yeah.
So if anything, some of this stuff that crops up through, it's
Yes.
the algorithm feeding you. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
we think you might, but it's never feeding me. Oh, this good thing happened. Someone
Yeah.
was rescued from a building.
Yeah. If
And
they were rescued, there was probably somebody jumped into the fire
Yes.
and there was something
Yes.
that happened that was actually quite shocking.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There's to look at it from the women's perspective on, because that's where I am and what I'm fed a lot, especially on TikTok. I do follow certain accounts that have to do with like let's say for example fashion, so you keep getting fed things about hauls and fashion, you know, if you're a woman of like nowadays mid-size, there's mid-size influencers, but now this is a category of what we are fed on by this algorithm to influence you to buy a product. So that's one of the ways the algorithm will try. Then they can get more ads onto the platform.
Yeah.
So the big fish is like they're getting more ads onto the platform by you following this content creators.
So you follow the influencers, so they put ads there.
They put
but
ads
also
there, and also they're
offline,
doing hauls.
buying,
You're also buying because they will come and say this is the best product that ever existed.
Yeah.
But where men and women are put against each other, I don't know how they're making money because like somebody like Sheila Sivan, she's on TikTok and also I think Instagram. Her content is around like women should always get men with money. That's all there is. That's the bottom line. And she calls it sprinkle, sprinkle. So you've not heard of sprinkle, sprinkle?
No.
Oh my gosh, where have you been living?
Is she not? No, she's not the girl for who is the one I found out the whole theory about bad wigs for black women gets you rich white men. Not that one.
No,
Okay.
no, not that one.
Okay.
Not that one. The soft life had wig. Yes, that's another thing.
I've not had the sprinkle thing.
Sprinkle is quite big, but it's the opposite of so what narrative she's trying to put is like hypergamy, where you actually date higher up, you don't date somebody lower than you,
and higher up financially,
socially, mainly financially. Hers is usually mainly financially. They should be able to buy you whatever, and you know she has a big following, and people will be like, even when you go on dates, don't go on these small dates. I don't know, for a coffee or something. Like they should. There's a whole.
I'm gonna
following.
look into this. This is, and you know, if it's also a really sad state of affairs where I think it's also gonna push human beings away from each other even more.
Okay, yeah.
Because I know guys who live in their house. They go to work, come back, they stick on this massive setup, a gaming setup.
Yes.
This is where
Just
they
games.
live.
Yes.
They game, and that's it. They find their satisfaction with porn, back to gaming. I know guys who do this. They don't even look for a connection outside the house.
No.
Nothing.
Oh, because
If I'm
also
gonna
because
meet
with the
anyone, I'll meet them.
gaming experiences are now
Yeah, you're
immersive,
talking to
so you're
people.
talking to people.
You're
So
talking to
Okay,
people, yeah.
okay.
that's a true. Oh my god.
So meaning
Damn,
like
I
the
do.
content we're being given for on the kind of men
Yeah.
we should date, we'll never find these men if they're stuck.
Even if you find them, he's also being told that women are
women
gold
are
diggers.
yes.
Gold
and
diggers.
They only want you for your money.
Yeah.
They use you
Yeah.
and then they move on.
Yeah.
This is what they're thinking.
So
as
we're
well.
being our heads are being
Yeah.
like
Although I have a question. This sprinkle person, is she
Yeah.
a black chick?
yes,
So here's my question.
yeah.
Do you think this is happening just in black culture? Do you think white culture has a similar thing happening?
No, but okay, here's my controversy about
Caucasian
this.
culture.
This is a very hard topic, but
We'll throw in allegedly. Carry on.
yes. Allegedly, from the word go, the white culture has always been for this. Like you marry up, you marry people of socioeconomics. Yes. And in the Asian culture as well, where for example, like in certain societies where somebody must have a nice job, like even the way our parents raised us back in the days, like, look for somebody who has a good education,
Yeah.
like if they were teachers or they had a job in the government, they were earning well, they were a better partner. So I somewhere along the lines, and maybe this is a very American thing, probably, is that struggle love was given more power. So people were told, okay, it doesn't matter as long as he has potential. So within that culture, and this sprinkle probably stemmed from there, where they were like, okay, we have had enough of struggle. Like I also want to date and be a partner with somebody who's better economically than I am. And there's always been a lot of push from, I guess, African American society in some of these things. So she's African American. And some of the content she has, she says, how come when a white person of somebody of Asian descent says this is what I want, like I want somebody who's at this level, how come they're not told they're gold diggers? But gold digging is actually the word that is mainly put into
For black people.
Yes.
Interesting.
She has something underneath,
Yeah.
but I know she blows it out of proportion.
Yeah. Because she has to get
She has to
clickbait.
again. Yes.
That's how you get
Yes,
interest.
yes,
Yeah.
Yes. But
That's the most poisonous thing about it.
Yes.
Because at some point you're going to have to up the level of
Yes.
controversy within even if you come in with a basically good idea of
Yes.
I think on base, maybe
Yes.
she's got a point.
Yes, yes.
But it gets drowned out due to the fact that she wants to make people interested.
Yes.
So if I keep cooking the same thing and customers come, one day I'm going to have to up and cook something different.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah.
keep them interested.
Yeah.
So and I wonder, it's a good point you say there, because then it makes me wonder let's say she has 25 million followers.
Yes.
How many of them actually understand the context, how you understand it,
Yes.
or where this is coming from,
Yeah.
versus the ones who are there for the drama of it all.
Yes.
And even as they approach life looking for the fiscally stronger partner, they're not, they're probably, are they getting success? Or maybe you're coming at it with a tact. We don't have tact because you don't understand
Yes.
where it comes from.
Yes.
Because now when you explain it,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that actually makes sense.
Yes.
And again, I don't know, even in Asian cultures where we know places where they've had like the caste system,
Yes.
which is based on
Yeah.
financial strength,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And they'll be like, no, like when they have requests or they go through matchmakers to be like, what do you want?
Yes. Yes.
You say this because it's a specific caste, which with that caste
Yes.
comes this kind of
Yes,
financial
yes,
security.
yes.
but nobody is like, oh, why are they?
And actually, they do say things like,
point.
I've watched the Indian Matchmaker, where they're like, I want to marry a doctor.
Yeah.
I want to marry an engineer. I am coming with this. Like, they can openly say these things, but there are certain communities where if you say, I want to marry a doctor, you're told, no, you're gold digging. Why are you going for somebody with that kind of a profession,
Yeah.
So,
I heard a good one the one
Yeah.
time. They said that the only problem with gold diggers are people without anything to dig. So the guys who've got nothing are the ones who I hate
Both
gold
that,
diggers.
yeah.
are the ones who are so worried about gold
Someone
digging.
with gold, I don't care. If they're around, it's all good.
Yes.
We'll party.
It's you without the
It's
gold.
you without the gold.
Going
who's-
up in arms.
Yeah.
That is
What
true.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? If I think a lot of the time also, if you know their goal, they've got people always feel the need to want to explain what they want out of their lives to other people. It's your life. If you want someone who's rich, go and find
Go
someone,
find
who's,
someone
rich.
who's rich.
Yeah.
If you want someone who makes you happy, go and find that. It's
Yeah.
your life. There's no practice run here.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
It's like that.
that is a good point.
She does. So one of the things I've noticed about the whole thing, like everybody will have probably, well, when they say where there's smoke, there's fire. Or where there's smoke,
Yeah, it's fine.
So there is a basis of a point, but you have, for you to capture people and to get people talking, you go very extreme.
And that part makes me so sad.
Yes, the extremities of it is what keeps people engaged
Yeah.
and keep people thinking through, maybe at some point. But I do see a generation of, especially women, who
Yeah.
will leave these internet streets very deluded.
That's
Because
yes.
what they've been told they should go for, they go out and meet like DJ's friend who's got a massive screen, like he never leaves the house. They will never meet these people
Yeah.
because they have a certain idea, and this person, never
Yeah.
comes here. So
This is a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the part that I think concerning is when you try now when you leave the online world into
Yes.
the real world,
Yes.
it doesn't match up,
Yes.
right? And you continue existing in the delusion of no,
Yes.
this is what it should be.
Yes.
But that's not the reality of life. And it's I mean that's it. And I wonder, is there maybe first, is there any way to undo what's happened? Because you're already living in this in a world of extremities, right? You're living in the extreme.
Yeah.
Is there any way to, or is the
It's done.
train
already.
has left the station?
We
This
just
is just how
have
we're
to,
gonna
this
be.
is how it is now. That guy who's behind his computer, who's behind his massive setup.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how he lives, and he's found some peace and
with
the
that.
reinforcement. Whenever he thinks, "Damn, I'm lonely," he thinks, "What does he think to do? I'll go on social media, swipe."
Yeah.
and that re-energizes his.
Yeah.
I'm okay by myself.
You know what they
Back
do
to the games.
actually, and now I see, man, and this part is really sad. You've described that person, and it's not that this person was just always this way.
Yeah.
Maybe there's more people who are so disillusioned, in you're following these influences or whatever it is.
Yeah.
In the real life, things are not matching up.
Yeah.
So it pushes you more into your corner.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So many more people are becoming this way. They're like, oh, me, I'll just, if somebody wants to find me, they have to break through the window to come
Yeah.
get me out of my
Yeah.
house. And then now you have products like Apple Vision Pro coming in,
Yeah.
or Oculus, that now you're living in
Yeah.
a virtual reality world
Yeah.
where things now feel so, these things that you would get from connection from outside
Yeah.
are now within your phone. Like, what are you?
You're
Yeah,
not gonna
true.
chase.
And those things are made with a lone player sort of feeling.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's not something you can engage with. Maybe Oculus you can.
Yeah.
But the Apple one is that's a solo product.
So
Yeah.
solo-
You use it
yeah.
by yourself.
Yeah.
You
You're
know,
living in this virtual world.
everything in this virtual world, and you can have whatever you want. You want to drive a Lamborghini, you can drive a Lamborghini if you
Yeah.
want. You know,
Yeah.
you can live a life
sad.
different. Yeah, it's
Yeah. Okay, so now that we've said we're in the extremes, so
this is very
like
morbid.
fuck it, this is where we are.
Yes.
But then how do we also create more spaces where I think men and women, because I think I've had to kind of do my own discernment, and in general, and we are human, right? So you also want to learn from people's experiences or listen to people's stories. The people you can listen to online, and you're just like, oh, I can relate to that person and different things like that. But I find myself drawn towards spaces where there's both sexes in the room having conversations, because I don't know if it makes sense for a woman to be telling me about how men are. Because at the same time, I can tell you about how men are. Me, I'm a female. Me, I can tell you about the female experience in my 40s. Like, this is what I know. And again, you can put so many asterisks, because I'm also a Kenyan woman who was born in a specific part, and then I went to school in Kenya, and then I moved to Europe, and then I happen to have both parents through all my childhood. I happen to have, so there's also all these asterisks for certain privileges that you have. So even if I can speak to being a woman in the 40s, it's very vastly different from you in your 40s, right? Because our we are shaped by the experiences we've had. So I only know the experience I've had. You only know the experience you've had. So I've become very skeptical of, and this is happening a lot, of women being like, men are like this. I'm like, but you're not a man to tell me how men are, right? So I find myself drawn to spaces where there is both genders trying to have some dialogue. But I wonder, how do we create more of those, even online? Because if you go into comments, which is now a dumpster fire, it's just back and forth of, and even if someone says something that maybe could be ignorant, we don't have the grace of how to correct someone, of how to be like, oh yeah, maybe that's not blah, 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 blah. Look at it this way. It's someone coming in and being like, oh, misogynist much. If you come at me that way, even me, I'm coming back with, But I don't know if...
And then the dialogue totally crashes
just
from
goes
then,
to
because
now it's a dumpster fire. But like, I don't know. Let me... My brain
depends, I guess.
Yes,
jumbles.
it depends, I guess. And for the content that I've been consuming on TikTok, I do see folks actually trying to create wholesome content, or maybe somebody will ask a question like, people who, for example, let's say relationships, people who are married and are in a happy relationship, and you're a person of color, tell us your story. So you have, you have other content creators teaching that and actually giving their version of it. Is there's a whole difference between what the internet world looks like and what real worlds look like, and this is my world. So if you have like more people asking within the virtual world, so within the internet, like if you have folks asking this kind of question and get the conversation going, you might again skew the algorithm a little bit, but don't forget extremities sell. So
that's
so
true.
It doesn't mean that that content will be high up on your For You page or in your Discover page.
And maybe that's the task for us, right? The task for us is also to go and seek out these places and watch and support and like share those. Because you're right. Like, I know some I forget her name anyway. Hopefully, maybe if I find a page, we can put it in the description part of the video. But she does have like other women or couples come and talk about their relationship and what love has looked like. Some it didn't work out, but are still co-parenting, whatever it is. And I noticed that her content, like, it's really good content. And there are a couple actually who came up with this series. But it doesn't have the gazillion of views that, So I mean, I guess even for content creators who are doing the wholesome stuff, like, hang in there.
Hang in there.
Try.
Yes. I think we had a conversation, my sister and I, at some point about the difference between back in the days. Because back in the days, like in the newspaper, like before social media and everything, in the newspaper, content was there. So you had stories, you had information, you could read about the world. And this was packaged in a way there was space for everyone, but it was content that was wholesome. Right now, you have to go look for that wholesome content.
That's a good point.
Because even radio stations had programming that was very specific. So you either had a newspaper, you had a radio station or a TV station. very well packaged. You learned a lot actually. Now, unless you go look for that content that teaches you, that builds you up, it will never come to you just like that.
That's
So it has
very
to start
true.
with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to agree with that. That's
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
that's correct.
Yeah, and the takeaway for you DJs, we will send you this wholesome stuff.
Yeah.
You will be posting
Yes.
that. Someone posts a porn video, you post the wholesome. You counteract it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. Like we have to find a way anyway. We
Yeah.
can't give up. That's one thing for sure.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That
yeah.
would be the end of humanity. That's,
Yeah.
We can't.
Yeah, we have to live in hope.
Maybe generation wise, I feel like for us millennials, like we've been at a good place where we've experienced both worlds.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for Gen Z and Gen Alpha.
Yeah.
Hopefully the other generation actually is like, wait a minute, this is not serving us, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
then they reverse
Yeah.
the extremities that we've seen, you know? Yeah.
I really do hope so. I really, really do hope so. Because you're right. We have experienced a different it was reality, but
Yeah.
it was clear it was different. We didn't
Yeah.
have social media.
Yeah.
And we've seen this side.
Yes.
But yeah, I do hope Gen Z, Gen Alpha actually take the reins and they're like,
Yeah.
this is not serving us, and
Yeah.
help undo some of
Of
this stuff. But I
Yeah.
think also it's made me realize that I will try my best to also go and seek out the super wholesome stuff and
Yes, yes.
fight my algorithm.
Yes, and also like super wholesome stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
When I started on TikTok, I used to consume everything. I would go through each and every video. Now I'm a bit careful where I'm like, this is not feeding me. This is not serving me. So I just scroll, and again, the more you act on the algorithm, sometimes it's helpful.
Yeah.
What I like, especially now we're talking about platforms, I like TikTok for their search algorithm. They do have a really good search
Function, yeah.
search function,
Yeah.
which you don't find on Instagram.
That's true.
If you were looking for some content on Instagram and searched, the search is terrible.
It's
TikTok can even tell you where to eat near you
Yeah.
or whatever, or you can even find my leg is aching. It will give you content around,
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
And someone said recently, which gave me pause. They're like, and it's because there's this whole thing happening in the US now about
Yeah.
TikTok getting banned
Yeah.
if it's not acquired by, I
Yeah.
guess, a US owner.
Yeah.
But they're saying that, actually TikTok has the most, if of all the platforms,
Yes.
has the most wholesome,
Yes.
is much more less toxic
Yeah.
than other platforms.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, wow, that's interesting. I'm not really on TikTok, but I've never really thought about it that way. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, I'm sure it's Reddit. Then I thought about it. No, yeah, also Reddit has also
Yeah.
become much more,
Yeah.
there's a lot more toxicity, and
Yeah.
also the algorithms, again, the way they feed you in a lot of these spaces. And I guess TikTok gives you a bit more of control.
Yeah.
To actually, this is not sponsored by TikTok.
Oh, yes, yes,
sounds
yes.
like it.
Just in case anybody wants to.
case.
But send
But
money
TikTok, if you do want to sponsor us, that would be great. But yeah, it actually, like listening to that argument, I thought to myself, maybe I
Yeah.
should go in there and tailor the
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Because now we mentioned the fact that, and that's true. I was trying to search for something on Instagram recently, and an hour later I was just like, this is just pointless. Let me
Yeah.
just forget
Yeah.
it.
And also, there's nothing wrong with not using any of the platforms. Use people who are around you.
That's
You've
true.
got uncles and aunts who've lived in great relationships.
That's true.
They have got experience you cannot get on the internet. They
That's
can
a
tell
good
you
point.
things.
Yeah.
Your friends who are in great relationships, who they've been together for years.
Yeah.
How do they get through it? Ask them.
Yeah.
People don't talk anymore.
That's
We're
true.
all
Yeah.
depending on
That's
these
a
things.
good point. That is a really good
And,
point.
and we have a friend who doesn't have any social media, Priska.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
It's not, oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, we share content to her, and if it's content on a platform that requires sign-in, she won't see it.
Yeah. She has, and she loves her world that way, and
That's
sometimes
true.
I admire that
Yeah,
a lot. Yeah, yeah.
And also, we have to filter a lot. I realized, for example, I used to watch the Real Housewives. I used to watch whichever franchise, but I realized how worked up I used to get afterwards. No, I'm not playing. And I'm this one who in
People's
the
drama.
morning, yes, in the morning, I'm having an argument in my head of how if I was that chick,
Yeah.
how I would have responded.
Yeah.
And I'm worked up. And
Yeah.
at some point I thought to myself, what is this?
Yeah.
And I stopped watching all of them. And I was like, I found myself less feeling
Yes.
on edge all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So I think also we have to be more cognizant of how these things
Yeah.
make us feel
Yeah.
and tweak accordingly.
Yes.
There's value in being online, there's value in seeing experiences.
Yes.
As DJ said, yes, we should actually be asking each other and talking to each other more versus going online.
That's it. Simple.
Look at you calling us out here.
100%.
No.
Yeah.
Fully agree.
Okay.
Carol, final words from you.
Final word is I love social media. I'm those people who started from MySpace. I had a MySpace page, Facebook when it was really new. I'm into technology, so
Yeah.
I like
Yes,
to
you
play
are.
around with whatever is out there on the internet. So my takeaway is I've seen the changes with before where you just got pushes of what your friends are doing to now what the whole world is doing. And we have to be like more attentive to what we are consuming as well as be intentional with where we are spending our energy.
Yeah.
And that's my takeaway. Yeah.
Yeah. Could not have said it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I had the hottest take. I ain't
Oh
got to
my
say
God.
nothing else. I ain't got to say nothing else. I had the hottest take. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you all and see you on the
Thank
next
you.
one.
See you next one. I hope we covered the topic.
That was pretty good actually.
Yeah.